What's a super genius way to hide something in your house? If it's light and small. I split some of the seams on the side bottom of blackout drapes and stitched in a pocket in Velcro. It's pretty much invisible, and I doubt people robbing the house want to disturb the drapes. I use it to stash cash. For larger stuff. I have a wood fireplace, so we have decorative wood sitting next to it. I split a log, hollowed it out a bit with a drill, use it to hide a bunch of spare keys, safe keys, etc. I made these things while I was recovering from an injury and super bored. On the positive side, I think nobody will look in my places. On a negative side, if there's ever a fire, the neighbors will think I'm insane when I save a blackout drape in a log. Edit, you guys are nuts. My address is redacted street. Redacted USA. I have had some fun thinking about all the would-be robbers rifling through decorative fire logs and stealing blackout drapes. Honestly, it would make some amateur, junior detectives scratch their heads, and that's enough to make me happy. Love you all. I've always been a fan of drilling a vertical hole in the top of door with a spade bit and dropping a film canister in. I used to think I could hide my weed from my mom in the towel in the bass drum of my drum set. One day I reached in and found a note instead. It said, "Not as smart as you think you are, so not that way." I just hid something inside a jar, put a toilet paper tube in the middle, then fill the sides with dog food biscuits. Become a hoarder. Fill your house with every piece of random junk you come across. Anything you own will become hidden. In the summer? Winter jacket pockets. False bottom to your cat's litter box. Nobody's gonna dig through cat garbage to look for your stuff. When I was a teenager, I got my hands on a Playboy magazine. This was just before we had internet at home, which changed the game, of course. My mom knew I had it, but I was just old enough where she decided to tolerate a few boobs. Still, in the conversation we had about it, she bet that if I was trying to hide a magazine from her, she would be able to find it. I accepted her challenge and told her to give me a little while to come up with hiding place. I had a chair with a cushion made of foam with a fabric cover, like a typical couch cushion. I removed the fabric cover and cut a slit into the foam, inserting the magazine in the middle of the cushion. I then turned the cushion around so that the slit was on the inside and couldn't be seen if you unzipped it. I put the foam back in the cushion and put it back in the chair. Couldn't feel anything sitting on it. My mom searched for a good while and could not find it. I think even if someone tore your house up completely, they likely wouldn't take the foam out of the couch cushions and carefully inspect it from all sides. A friend of mine, ex-criminal, had that problem when police raided his house. The gun he owned was not legal, so he threw it in a pot full of beans, while they were on a stew, cooking. He saved his ass. Sorry for bad English though. Next question, what are the super genius passwords to your bank accounts? Inside Sharpies. If you gently bend and wiggle the barrel, gray portion, and the ferrule, colored bit that holds the nib, you can separate them and remove the reservoir, ink. It's a great place to hide money, or a joint, cigarette, while still leaving a working nib under the cap. Larger Sharpies like a Magnum barrel, metal ones, use glue on the ferrule, so it's more difficult to separate those Sharpies. Edit, spelling ferrule. Unscrew the base of a lamp, like the entire base, and put what you want to hide inside the base, then screw the base back on. When was the last time you or anyone you know has completely disassembled a lamp? Edit, I had no idea so many people wouldn't take my question rhetorically, lol. I have a Barbasol shaving can that unscrews from the bottom, similar to where Newman kept the dino DNA in Jurassic Park. Inside a Holmes & Watson DVD case. It will never be opened, definitely not worth stealing, only risk is someone possibly decides to incinerate it. My boyfriend is tall. Anything I don't want him to see goes at the back of the lowest shelf. If it's flat money, in books. You can repurpose empty food and cleaner containers to hide bigger objects. Put it wherever you keep losing your keys. Inside of trophies. Mine are all hollow. My ex hid wads of $100s in the mouth of a VCR. Fake electrical outlet. Looks like a regular outlet but has no wiring. You can keep a small wad of cash or anything in similar size. In the pockets of hanging clothes in the closet. I hid my stuff in my guitar amp's back cavity. Same can apply for any speaker box. Edit, I meant from parents and siblings, not from burglars. Treat it as being super extra important, so you hide it in a super extra important place in the house. Then tell yourself you'll always remember where it is because it's in that super extra important place. In my experience, you'll never find it again. Read this as what's a super genius way to hide in your house, and was convinced op was wanting to work on their hide and seek game. My mother and grandmother both have cold cash storage. It's a Tupperware in the freezers with cash in it. Edit. Thank you very much for wanting to reply, but the frozen assets and cold hard cash jokes has been made quite few times already. Please stop. I'm starting to regret making this comment. Inside electronics. A lot of electronics has spare room inside. False wall in closet, either the back of the closet, top of the closet, or a wall that doesn't have a door next to it, harder to see the missing space. Drawers, false bottom, underneath a drawer, or taped behind a drawer. On top of cabinets, especially with a false top to cover whatever you're hiding. Behind the backing of a picture. Best with those cheap photo frames that are easy to disassemble. False middle to a bottle of soda. Toilet tank. Taped up under sink near the front board. Make your own false book, works best with large bookcase. Inside a large chair or couch that's not properly sealed up underneath. Behind washing machine. Under dishwasher. None of these will stop a dedicated person from finding them. A few of the appliance-based ones can be discovered if someone else does a repair on them. A few require some effort to make false cavities. But between the variety it will be hard to figure out where. If you're trying to hide something from me, you just need to put it in the fridge or the cupboard, front and center. Greater than me, hey, I can't find the applesauce. Greater than them, it's in the cupboard with all the other sauces. Greater than me, no it's not. Greater than them, no, it's definitely in there, I put it there an hour ago. Greater than me, I'm telling you, I just looked and it's not there. Greater than them, fine. I'll show you. Greater than gets up, goes to cupboard, opens it, points to applesauce in plain sight. Greater than me. Yeah, that wasn't there before. Inside a hollowed out door. No one's going to smash a door to pieces on the off chance something is inside it. No one's going to throw away or sell, replace a door while you're at work. And it's very unlikely that someone will cause enough damage to an interior door to wreck it. The top half more so, though, if you have large dogs who like to chew their way through things. Alternatively, in the hollowed-out walls of a heavy safe you keep in the garage, with the safe door open, or at least not locked. Only slightly more likely to be sold to a scrap dealer or local safe enthusiast while you're at work. Amusing variation, in a hollowed-out safe vault door you have mounted into a wall somewhere, with the combination stamped into a metal tag tied to the handle. If there's any actual space behind the door, fill it with cheap pawn shop trophies. Because, after all, who takes the time and effort to steal or slice up a safe they can see as empty? 2 words, tampon box. Bring in 10,000 more identical ones. Edit. Holy crap. Such a little comment and 9,000 upvotes. Soon you'll be able to hide your upvote amongst 10,000 others. My house was robbed once. They cut the silk liner out of a really nice fedora from Havana, kicked holes in the back of all the closets and certain walls, disassembled electronics, pulled all the books off the bookshelf, moved around all the appliances, cut holes in couch cushions and mattresses, etc. However, they found no valuables because it's my second home, and I don't leave any cash or jewelry laying around. And #X200B, a lot of these ideas may be good for hiding things from people that live with you, but if you're looking to hide something from a would-be thief, get a safety deposit box. And #X200B, edit. For clarification, the criminals were apprehended. They were local landscapers who knew I wouldn't be around for long periods. They were found with a lot of amphetamines, which could explain their interesting tactics. No, I am not a drug dealer. I guess safe deposit boxes aren't as safe as I thought. I don't wear fedoras. I promise. As a kid, I saw that whomever had put the floor trim in my room didn't do a great job measuring. There was a section in one corner of the room, under my bed, that was about 18 inches long and held in with a single nail. I found that I could simply pull it out, and the whole thing would swing out like a door. So I took a knife and cut out the drywall. Just enough that if the trim was replaced, you'd never see the hole. I kept everything in there from prawn to cash to weed. As a paranoid child with fairly conservative parents, I thought of all sorts of creative places to hide things. I should be a law enforcement consultant. I can find any hiding place. You can dissolve your friend's Nobel Prize medals in aqua regia. Edit. After a few, oddly specific, responses, I'm guessing most people aren't getting the reference. The question was, what's a super genius way to hide something? George de Hevesy, a Nobel Prize winner in chemistry, so I would classify as a super genius, needed a way to hide 2 of his friends' Nobel Prizes while they fled the Nazis. He came up with the idea of dissolving them in an acid, aqua regia, and left the solution on a shelf in his lab. He came back years later to find them undisturbed. The gold was precipitated out of the solution and the Nobel Society recast the original gold into metals.